Today we'll discuss the timer and its mode of your 8051. Okay. So we have seen the features of 8051. There we have discussed that there are two timers in 8051, timer 0 and timer 1. Okay. And each timer, the timers are there, and that generally it is the term timer or counter. Okay. I will tell you the difference between that, what is the timer and counter. So we have to go to the 2 points, that is your first your timer registers and modes of your timer. Timer registers we have to discuss, and modes of your timers. So this is a peripheral device, we can say, in your 8051. Okay. So this is the inbuilt in 8051 in chip that we don't have in your microprocessor. So these are the advantage of your microcontrollers. So we'll go through first the what is the function of your the timers of in any microcontroller or in 8051. It's some that timer or counter. Okay. So your timer, it always use that counts the, sorry, here it should be timer. Your timer counts internal clock pulses generated by your crystal oscillator. Okay. So remember that thing. The what is the function of your timer? Your timer is count the internal clock pulses generated by your crystal oscillator. Okay. So you know that your crystal oscillator is connected. Crystal oscillator is connected across the two pins XL1 and XL2, because we need that clock pulses for the total operation of your 8051. So that what are the clock pulses generated by the timer, crystal oscillator, that will be counted by your timer. So we can say that your timer counts the internal clock pulses generated by the crystal oscillator. This is the one function of your timer. Then it counts the events also, and it generates the baud rate for serial port. So whenever we go for the serial communication, so for serial communication, there is a need of the timer. So the timer will be there. So the timer is helping in serial communication for generating the baud rate. So this is the functions of your timer. Now, what do you mean by the counter? Now, on your 8051, in 8051, if any external clock pulses, or we can say the interrupts also, if any external clock pulses are there on your pins, so that external clock pulses or events will be counted by the counter. So this is the difference, that timer and counter. Your timer counts internal clock pulses generated by crystal oscillator, while your counter, it will count the external clock pulses coming on the pins of your 8051. So remember the difference between timer and counter. So this is the functions of your timer and counter. Now next is we are discussing the features also, that your 8051 contains two 16-bit timers, that is timer 0 and timer 1. So here this is shown as T0 and T1. So two different types of timers are there, interval timer and the counter. So your counter's maximum value, it can count up to the 65536, and your initial set can be set by the user. We will discuss this when we go for the modes of operation of timers. So at that time you can understand this term, that maximum value is 65536, and the initial set, that means from which state you should have to start counting, that will be set by the user. So your timer 0 and timer 1, there are two registers are there actually, that is timer 0 register and timer 1 register. So your timer 0 register and timer 1 register, both are 16-bit. Okay. Here I have shown that in the diagram, you can see that 16-bit register is divided in two 8-bit registers. Okay. Because why? Because we need this 8-bit register, because your 8051 is 8-bit. So whenever you do the operation on timers also, total 16-bit register we cannot use directly. So you should have to use the 8-bit registers separately, as if you have the timer 0, then your TL0, this lower bits, that is TL0, these 8 bits will be used, and for your higher bits you have the TH0. So these are the registers. That means your 16-bit register of timer 0 is divided in two 8-bit registers, TL0 and TH0. So your TL0 contains your lower bits and your TH0 contains the higher bits. Okay. So D0 to D7, sorry, it is D0 to T7, that 8 bits are there in your TL0, and D8 to D15 you have the 8 bits in TH0 for the timer 0. Now if you have the timer 1, at that time it is again divided in two 8-bit registers, that is TL1 and TH1. TL1 and TH1. So here for your timer 1, your lower 8 bits will get stored, D0 to D7 will get stored in TL1, and D8 to D15 will get stored in TH1. Okay, so you should have to remember this, because we need to move some data in these registers. For example, you should have to write the instructions like move TH0 comma hash 1 to H. Okay, so this instruction is there, that you can immediate data you can store in these 8-bit registers of your timers. For if you have timer 0, you can move that data in TL0, TH0. If you have timer 1, you can move that data in TL1 or TH1. Okay, so remember these things, that your timer registers, that is 16-bit registers, are divided into two 8-bit registers, that is here TL0, TH0, TL1 and TH1. Okay. Now there are some special function registers with your timer, that your timer or counters can be operated by user with this special function register. Two special function registers are there, that is called as the tmod and tcon. So your T0 and T1, that shares the two special function registers, that is tmod register and tcon register. We'll go to the format of this, and the significance of each and every bit you have to understand, and you have to remember that, because these registers, the contents, how to store the data in that register, we require that in the programming. Okay, so tmod register, that is the timer mode register, and tcon register, that is the timer control register. Two special function registers are associated with your timer 0 and timer 1. Okay, so these are the special function register. Only one register is there, tmod, for your T0 and T1, and tcon, it is also a single register, special function register for both the timers T0 and T1. Okay, so each timer has also two registers dedicated to itself, that just now I have explained, that is TH0, TL0, and TH1 and TL1. Now we'll go to the first, that is the tmod register. You all of you have to understand this format, and you should have to remember all these 8-bit format of all the special function registers, because there are number of special function register in 8051 related to particular peripherals. So with your timer counter, you have two special function registers, that is tcon and tmod. So you have to remember the format also and significance of each and every bit. Okay, so this is the first one, that is the tmod, timer mode register. It is a non-bit addressable 8-bit register. All the special function registers are 8-bit, because you know that your 8051 is a 8-bit microcontroller. So this, all the registers, special function registers, are 8-bit, and all the general purpose registers are also 8-bit. Only two 16-bit registers are there, that you know, that is DPTR and program counter. So this is the format of your standard format is there for all the special function registers. You should have to remember this format. This is the 8-bit format, that is 8-bit register. These lower bits, that is D0, D1, D2, D3. These 4 bits are assigned for timer 0. Okay, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Next higher bits will be assigned for your timer 1. If you see that the 4 bits are common, that is M0, M1, C slash T bar and gate. These are the 4 bits are there. The whatever they have defined with that bits, same you have for timer 0 and timer 1. So this is easy to remember this format, that your D0 bit is M0, M1, C slash T bar and gate. These are the 4 bits that for your timer 0. In the same way, you have the 4 bits for your timer 1. Okay, we'll see the significance of this, all the bits. That is what we mean by M0, M1, C slash T bar and gate. So this is M0, M1. Now by the name, this register T mod, that is the timer mode register. So this will define the modes of operation of your timer. So these 2 bits M0 and M1, they will define the modes of operation of your timer. These are the 2 bits, so 4 possible combinations of bits are there. So 4 modes of operation of your timers are there. Okay. Then C slash T bar, this will define whether that has to work as a counter or that has to work as a timer. And gate bit, we'll see the significance of this. First, we'll see the M0 and M1. See this, M0 and M1 bits are used to set the timer mode. That is for timer 0 and timer 1 separately. So these 4 timer modes are there. When these bits, both the bits are 0, 0, your mode is mode 0. Okay, so what do you mean by the mode 0? That is, it is a 13-bit timer. We'll see that one by one, that we have to go to the modes of operation of timers also. So when these both the bits M0 and M1, when these both bits are 0, 0, you have the mode 0, and that is the 13-bit timer. Next, you have this M0 and M1 as 0, 1, that is your mode 1. Mode 1 means what? That is the 16-bit timer. Your timer will be working on a 16-bit. Next, 1, 0, that is the mode 2. It is called as the 8-bit auto reload. That means your timer works only on 8-bit, but that should be auto reloaded. And the last one, M0 and M1, if that both the bits are 1, 1, then your mode of operation, that is the mode 3, and that is called as a split timer mode. So generally, these first 3 modes of operations are there in 8051. That is, first is 13-bit timer. Your timer will work on only 13-bit. Then 16-bit timer, it will work on 16-bit, and the mode 2, the timer work on the 8-bit. Okay, so remember the significance of these 2 bits M0 and M1. It will define the modes of operation of your timer. After that, we have this D2 bit, that is actually C slash T bar. Okay, T bar means it is an active low. So according to that, you have to give the input to that. That is that it has to go for the timer or counter. It is also called as the interval timer or the counter. Interval timer means your timer that counts the internal clock pulses, and counter it counts the external clock pulses. So C slash T bar actually there. So T bar is active low. So whenever you give the 0 to that pin, at that time that will be activated. Okay, so when this bit is 0, that will be act as a timer, and when that bit, if you give at the 1, then it will be as a counter. Okay, so these are the first 3 bits, M0, M1, C slash T bar. One more bit is there, that is the gate. So what are these 4? If we explain this 4 M0, M1, C slash T bar and gate for timer 0, they have the same bits for your timer 1. Okay, the bits are same, only you have to say that is for timer 0 and timer 1. Now your next, that is the gate bit. Now listen it. Your you should have to start and stop the timer. Okay, always. So there are three ways to start the timer or stop the timer. So that can be sometimes do by this only software. Okay, sometimes it may be done with the help of hardware, or sometimes your timer you can start and stop by the both way, that is the hardware and the software control. So there are three controls. With the help of that, you can start and stop the timer. First is that with only software. Second, with only hardware. And third is by both the ways, software and your hardware control. Okay. Now you're stopping and starting off your timer. That can be controlled with the help of software by using one bit in your TCON register. Okay, that is TR register, timer start. Okay, that bit TR0 and TR1, we'll go through that afterwards. So whenever you set and clear that bit, when you set that bit, we can say your timer will be start. If you clear that, we can say your timer will be stop. Okay, so this is the software way. With the help of software way, you can start and stop the timer. Generally, we are using this in the programming, because whenever you write the program for the timer, that at that time we should have to start the timer and stop the timer. So that is the software way we are using. Okay, so this get bit is actually associated with that, the starting and stopping of your timer. Okay, I had told you that the software way, how can start and stop the timer with the help of TR bit in your TCON register. You can set and clear that particular bit, then you can start and stop the timer. Okay, and there is a hardware way of starting and stopping the timer by some external sources. So this gate bit, whenever you are using the hardware way, at that time this gate bit is 1. Okay, and whenever we are using the software way, this gate bit will be 0. So generally we are going to use the software way. So this gate bit we will always make it as a 0, because we are using the software way. So remember the significance, or the, we can say the function of that particular bit gate, that is the for starting and stopping of your timer with the help of software control or the hardware control. So whenever we have the software control, at that time this gate bit will be 0, and whenever we have the hardware control for with the help of some external sources, at that time this gate bit will be 1. So I think all of you are getting the meaning of, or the significance of each and every bit. That is M0, M1, it will define modes of operation. C/T bar, it will define whether it has to work as a counter or it has to work as a timer. And gate bit, that is for your starting and stopping of your timer with software or hardware control. Okay, so this is about your that special function register, TMOD register. Now we'll go to the next one, that is the next special function register, that is the TCON register. That is the timer control register. So you should have to remember the long forms of this registers also. TCON means timer control register. Now it is a bit addressable register. Again, it is a 8-bit register where your upper 4 bits are responsible for timers and counters. So we'll go through one by one about this. See, this is your first D0 bit is, that is IT0. Okay, that is the interrupt 0 type control bit. Just you have to consider only the upper 4 bits, that is TR0, TF0, TR1 and TF1. Only these upper 4 bits are associated with your timer, and this next 4 bits, lower 4 bits are associated with your interrupts. So this TCON register, it will be responsible for timer counters also and your interrupts also. So your upper 4 bits, this upper 4 bits will be responsible only for timer and counter, and these 4 for the interrupt. So just now we will just see these 4 bits. that are associated with only the timer and counter. So just now I told you that the TR0, that is the timer start. Okay, so this bit that whenever you start the timer, you should have to set this bit for your timer 0. If you have the timer 1, then this TR1, that is for your timer 1. So whenever you write the program, so at that time when you need to start the timer, at that time you have to write the instruction that set B TR0. Single bit you can set, that we have seen that the bit addressable registers are there in 8051. That means bit addressable means what? We can single bit you can set or clear. So here whenever you start your timer 0, you should have to set this particular bit TR0 by writing the instruction set B TR0. Okay, and whenever you have the timer 1, then whenever you start the timer 1, then this bit TR1 you have to set. Okay, if you want to stop the timer at the last, then you should have to clear these bits CLR TR0 or CLR TR1. So with the help of these two bits that are related to your starting and stopping of your timers, then TF0 and TF1. Actually, these are the overflow flags. Now we'll see that when we go for the modes of operation of your this 8051, that is timer modes, timer 0, 1, 2, and 3. So these overflow flags will be in a picture at that time when we go for the modes of operation. That is called as the timer 1 overflow flag or timer 0 overflow flag. So this will be set, this overflow flag will be set when your counting will be overflow, we can say, when it will roll over from some initial value to the your maximum value. So at that time, this TF0 and TF0 and TF1 overflow flag will be set or clear. So you can set that TF0 and TF1. See, this is your, we can say that user can define this bit in your TCON register. So if you are going to start the timer, that is, it is not necessary that you have to write the contents of TCON register. Total TCON registers contents is not necessary to write all the content. You can directly use a single bit from that TCON register. That means you can directly write the instructions as set B TF1 or clear TF1. Okay, so that is the advantage of that. You can have the bit addressable registers in your 8051. So these are the two registers. So these remaining 4 bits we will discuss when we'll go for the interrupt part. Okay, because now you cannot understand easily about these 4 bits. So only remember this upper 4 bits will be for your timer and counters, lower for your interrupt. Okay, so these 4 bits we will discuss when we go for the interrupt part. So these are the two special function registers associated with your timers, that is TMOD register and TCON register, that is timer mode control and timer control register. So next part actually that is the modes of operation of your timer. We'll see this, the what is the timer versus counter, and then we'll go for the modes of operation of your timers of 8051. So I told you that timer counts the machine cycles. Machine cycles means what? That the clock pulses generated by your crystal oscillator, and the counter that counts the events as a result of falling slope of external input signal put on a pin. I told that the difference between timer and counter. Your timer counts the internal clock pulses and counter counts any events or any interrupt occurs on your pins of your, any pin of your microcontroller. Your timer mode and counter mode are relative to the machine cycle. That is your clock pulses. Here see that again the timer input from your internal system clock. Okay, and your counters show the number of events and registers. That means the pins are available for your external interrupts. That is external input from timer 0 input pin P3.4. It is a for your counter 0. That means if any event or any clock pulse will occur on this pin, that will be considered as the external, and that the clock pulses, external clock pulses will be counted by your counter. This is for your timer 0, P3.4. For your timer 1, you have the pin P3.5. So, if on these pins, if any clock pulses will be arise, any interrupt will arise, that will be counted by your counter. The external input from TX input pin also, that is for your TX is for your serial communication, and we can use that TX to denote T0 or T1. So this is TX pin is related to your serial communication. If on that also, if you have any interrupt, so that also will be get counted by your counter. So go in a project, say it as a new project. I will again revising in. Create some project. It will ask for your uh, to select the device. Which device you have to select. That is, we will go to the Atmel. But in that Atmel, it will ask you that go for the microchip. So go in a microchip and select your 89C51. Okay. It will ask to add the startup file. You can add that. Then file new. First save that. You can give the extension .asm also or .a51 also. That is the assembly language we are going to write. Next, your source group, you have to add that. So first, always we should have this instruction ORG 008. What I told you that what program we have to do, that is the 10 bytes. We will first store in some memory location, internal memory location, and we'll do the addition of that all the 10 bits, 10 bytes. So first we will have the memory location will store in R1. I consider the memory location 40H. Okay. After this, only this memory location 40H, 40H onwards and 40, 41, 42, we will store that the 10 bytes in that. Okay, in that memory location that you already know that we are discussing in the last lecture. Now after this, you should have the counter. How many bytes we should have to store? 10 bytes. So you should have that counter in R0 register. 0AH. That means you are 10. Okay, I written in a hex. Then make your accumulator clear. Always you should have to clear your accumulator when you are using that accumulator content. Okay. Now we have to add that all the 10 bytes one by one. Okay. So what instruction you can write? Anybody? Directly add instruction also you can use. You can directly write add a comma at the rate R1. Okay, because accumulator is 0. So at the rate R1, one by one byte we can take from the memory location. Okay. Now after this, with this instruction, add a comma at the rate r1. Your first byte will get added with accumulator. Your accumulator is 0 and you are adding any number from that location 40s with accumulator. Now we have to add the next number. Okay, that is stored at the next memory location. So what instruction you can write? Anybody? After this, what we will do? तुम्हाला मेमरी लोकेशन इन्क्रीमेंट करायची आता बरोबर R1 तुमचा 48 आहे नाउ यू हॅव टू मेक इट एज ए 41 सो व्हॉट यू विल डू
आपल्याला इन्क्रीमेंट करावं लागेल मग.
येस व्हॉट यू शुड हॅव टू इन्क्रीमेंट
इन्क्रीमेंट
R1
R1.
yes it will become now 41 okay now up to 10 bytes you have to increment your memory location. But how you can know that that 10 bytes is that will get added? That will over. We have taken the counter of 10. Okay. So at the same time, you should have to decrement that with the help of this instruction D, J, and Z. Okay. Where you have stored your counter in R0. So we will decrement your R0 and jump not to 0. तो तोपर्यंत 0 होत नाही तोपर्यंत आपल्याला त्याची ॲडिशन करत राहायची आहे. सो L1 will go where? That label where it will be jump. We should have add the contents of memory location one by one, okay, up to the 10 bytes. So where that L1 will jump?
Ma'am, at move R0, hash 0H.
No, that already we have incremented R1.
Yes, yes.
Well, if we increment R1, it will become 41H now. Okay. But at the same time, we should have to decrement the counter also. So that counter will go up to the 0. म्हणजे ते 10 bytes complete होणार. तोपर्यंत एक 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 तुमचे addition होणार. तो loop बनवायचा आपल्याला. So how that L1 will jump? Where it will be jump? At which location? Which anybody? See here. You have to jump here. What are the total results you are getting in accumulator that you have to just move in a R0 register. I will explain you this just a minute again. Here, what we have done first, we have 48 memory location, we are moving in R1. Then we are taking one counter of 10 bytes that we have to add. Initially, we have cleared the accumulator. Okay. Now add a comma at the rate R1. What happens with this? Here at the rate R1 means at the rate 40H. Whatever the contents is there, that will get added with your accumulator. Okay, your result will get stored in accumulator after addition. Now we want the next data from 41H. So for that we should have to increment your memory location. So we have incremented your R1. Now you have to decrement the counter because the 10 bytes, you should know up to when you should have to add. So your R0 become now your 09. Okay, so 09 it will become, we have to add the contents at memory location 41H. So we will jump here again at the rate R1. 41 memory location, the contents of that will get added with the accumulator. Okay, again increment R1, it will become 42H, your counter will become 08. Okay, again we will add that. Again we will jump here. Again that 42H memory location will get, content will get added with accumulator. We'll again increment R1, will become 43. Where R0 become 07 now. Okay, 08. So again it will be do up to when it will be do up to your R0 becomes 0. ओके, तर जोपर्यंत 0 होत नाही तोपर्यंत तुमचे 10 बाईट्सची ॲडिशन होत राहणार, कारण आपण R0 ऑलरेडी 10 कन्सिडर केला आहे. इट स्टार्ट डिक्रिमेंटिंग फ्रॉम 10 अप टू द 0. वन्स इट बिकम 0 देन इट विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट इन्स्ट्रक्शन. So this total addition will be in your stored in your accumulator. कारण प्रत्येक वेळेस तुमचा मेमरी लोकेशनचा कंटेंट ॲक्युमुलेटरमध्ये ॲड होत जाणार आणि रिझल्ट तुमचा ॲक्युमुलेटरमध्ये स्टोअर होणार. नेक्स्ट डे बाईट आला का तो ॲक्युमुलेटरमध्ये ॲड होणार. अगेन रिझल्ट विल गेट स्टोर्ड इन ॲक्युमुलेटर. So your total 10 bytes addition will last get stored in accumulator. So we are just moving that accumulator to the R0 register. Okay, we will execute this program. These are your memory locations 48. We'll take the simple numbers 0, 1, zero, 8, 0, 9, and we'll get the 0, 1. So the 10 bytes I have stored at this memory location. Now we'll go execute this step by step. Yeah, R1 contains 48 memory location. Then your R0 contains your counter addition. Add a comma at the rate R1. See here. What is your 40H memory location? 0, 1. Will get added with accumulator 0, 0. Your result is in your accumulator 0, 1. Now next, see here. Your R1 will become now 41. Okay. You decrement the counter, it becomes 9. Now this 2 will get added from next memory location. Getting this 2 get added with accumulator contents, it becomes 3. Again, your accumulator, sorry, R1 becomes 42 memory location, decrement your counter. Again, 3 will get added with 3, will get a 9. Sorry, 6, 3 plus 3. Again, next, it becomes, R1 becomes 43, decrement the counter. Next, you have 4 will get added, 0A. That means it always has the answer in hex. So your 10 answer is, but it will be in your hex. Again, next memory location 44, decrement the counter, it will add the next data. So up to 45, 46. See here, जोपर्यंत R0 0 होत नाही तोपर्यंत नेक्स्ट बाइट्स तुमचे ऍड होत जाणार. Once it becomes 0, your data in accumulator is 2E. That will be see here, I have stored accumulator contents. This last result 2E, I have moved in R0. You can take another register. So here in R0 2E. Lastly, total result, total addition will get added, and that result will be you have moving in R0. I think you are getting this. If you are not getting, you work out this yourself, that how can move this or directly add instruction also you can write for the addition of this all 10 bytes.